welcome back. It's been a hot minute since I've been on here for HVAC stuff. My apologies. Life gets busy. Today we're going to talk about something that probably more experienced technicians, people who have been around the trade for a little bit, don't need to hear. So you don't have to watch this. This is more for the new technicians who just getting started and maybe don't know a lot yet. Maintenance. I know I talk about maintenance on equipment all the time, but what about maintenance on your own equipment? We've got to do a little hose repair here today. This is a JB version of low loss fitting. I typically run the yellow jacket version, but I'm doing this for somebody else who needed this fixed. And I did the high side already. I'm gonna say, sorry JB, I'm not a fan. These are a lot more complicated than the yellow jacket, more pieces to have to deal with than the yellow jacket, and very frustrating to get apart. You're going to require some tools to do this if you're going to replace the components of a frost-free end. You're going to need some snap ring pliers. That goes for the yellow jacket or the JB version. You are going to need a very thin straight-bladed screwdriver to assist with this ring coming out. When we get to changing the other O-rings, one of these comes in real handy. They're deadly sharp. You're going to need some 1/4 inch hose gaskets. You'll need the JB kit if you're doing the JB hose. That part number is a 33112RK. I think it was $11 for that kit. I will say JB comes with really nice instructions with pictures to show you how to do it. Yellow jacket does not come with instructions, but yellow jacket has all the pieces pre-assembled more or less with the O-rings in them and the O-rings on them, and most importantly, a brand new snap ring. This one we're trying to save the snap ring and not damage it, not bend it or tweak it, and that's where the problem comes in. Come a little closer. The clearances around in here are very tight. You've got to squeeze this snap ring in and then take your straight blade on a little gap and just help it over the lip a little bit to get it to let go. That can be problematic if you're trying to not damage the ring to get it to work correctly. Once I get my snap rings on it, catch this back gap. Oh, it rotated on me. Okay, just got under it. Oh, dropped it. Come on. It's going to be difficult. Now I have it sort of trapped, but I don't want to pry on it too much because you'll bend this snap ring. Okay, good. We kept that in pretty good shape. So you just leave that on there. You don't have to take it off the hose. I'm going to pull this out. Back up just a little bit. Now we have the fitting out of the knurled end. This one's pretty oily. Stand by. Okay. So we got the first tricky part done. You got another steel ring and then a little Teflon washer to help it slide and rotate. Now we have to take this apart, and all they give you to work with is that slot. I used to use a metal ruler, kind of like a straight edge. I found that if you happen to have one of the old school cheapo duck knives, that you're not using anymore, like this one. Blade is completely trashed, not going to use it for a duck knife. The back edge of that works really well to get in that slot. You don't want to tear that slot up. This is soft brass. It will deform easily, but you need something that's like an oversized screwdriver that you can get in that slot and have some horsepower to turn it. Sometimes these are really, really tight. They shouldn't be. It's got O-rings on it, but the high side one I took apart was pretty bad. There we go. And I think the reason they're so bad is they put some kind of thread sealant on it, which could be thread locker on that other one. Either that or it was some kind of corrosion, but it was very problematic to get apart. Like I was saying, I'm not a fan of JB's design. Yellow Jackets, I don't have to fight this hard. This one has the same stuff, so they must be putting some kind of thread locker on it from the factory when they build these. You can see that white residue on there. Why are you locking brass with an O-ring on a hose end? I don't think that's necessary. My opinion. Maybe their engineers know more than me. I'm sure they will say so. And I'm not trying to dog JB tools or equipment. They make good stuff. I've used a lot of their stuff. Just not a fan of this particular setup. Okay, we've got it disassembled. Let's see what parts come in the package. Okay, we've got a thick, hard to do with glove on. We have a thick O-ring, we have a thin O-ring, a black O-ring on this bronze piece, which is part of the depressor. It's going to sit in there like so. So we're going to take our old one, get that depressor out of there. Now, inside is a rubber ring. It's not in this kit. So this inner one, leave there. This ring here, which is the one that primarily gets tore up, we want to pull that one out and replace it with that one. This one over here is going to get replaced with that one. And then a new spring. Okay. That's a crusty yuck. So, something that will help you getting these O-rings in is get yourself just a dab of refrigerant oil to help your new one slip in and not get tore up. This tool, even though I said it was going to be used for that, we can also use it to hook this O-ring and get it out of the way so we can put the new one in. And like I said, this is primarily the one that gets tore up. Come on. It's definitely in that slot good. I think I got it. Okay. So the face side of it that's seeing the abuse of the quarter flares going into your Schrader ports, it has rubber coming off of it. They get split. The high side one that I changed earlier actually had a line cut all the way around the inside of it, so it had a gap it could open. We're getting a lot of leakage past that. A little oil on it, slip it back in that groove that the other one came out of. Pretty simple, except I pushed it right down the center hole. Boom. Dropped right in. Okay. Let's drop this piece in. Now this is a newer design from the previous one. As far as how this centerpiece sets and seals, it has an extra ring to it to help with that sealing. Okay, so now one more thing to do. Get that ring off. Get it rolled on there. Now, let's put it all back together. Now, if you're trying to do this by yourself and you don't have a vise, you can take a pair of... Okay, whatever you do, don't forget your spring, okay? It's gonna sit like so, and like so. That's the spring that keeps the depressor part pushed out, and it's not pushing on a Schrader core, hence, or therefore trapping the refrigerant and not letting it spew out. Very important to have that spring in there. Guess we're not using that anymore. I'm gonna go back to the metal straight edge ruler. Okay. Wear gloves when you're doing this so you don't get cut. That was a potential. Go visit HR and explain why you cut yourself fixing your own tools. Okay. We got our pieces getting ready to go back into our brass knurl. Push those down. Get your snap ring lined up a little bit. Get a bite on it. Get it to start down in. Then you can take your screwdriver and just get it to drop into the gap, like so. Okay. That one is fixed. New O-rings, new seals, spring included. Good to go. Now let's talk about the other end. This should be always in good shape. This is the part that's threading onto your manifold. People go on there and really reef them down on their manifold really hard, and they keep checking them, and they keep tightening them, and they keep checking them, and they keep tightening them. You literally cave that O-ring in, and the brass cup that the O-ring in starts poking above the top, and that brass is going to want to start touching that brass. Now you don't really have a good seal, and you can get leakage there. These periodically can get damaged, destroyed, compressed. This, like I said, this thing's very sharp. You can actually pierce into that rubber and hook it to help assist getting it out. Don't put your thumb up on it like that to try and pry it out. You will stab yourself. I'll go ahead and get a bite on it. Pop it right out. No big deal. Now, take your nice fresh one. Where'd that other one go? I want to show you. If you can see that, the ends of it are tapered, squished in because it's been getting smashed by the taper on that fitting. Put a little bit of oil on it just to help it slide in. Nice thing about this tool is it has a holder to help you get it down in there, push it down, boom. Now, if you could see in there, it might be hard to. The rubber is actually sticking up above the brass cup. That's what we want. It's going to give us the good seal. When I thread it on, I'm going to feel that rubber tension on it. I don't have to keep reefing it till it's tight. Just get it snugged and you'll have a good seal. So that whole hose is completely rebuilt. Actually, both sides of this are completely rebuilt now. If you have a standard hose, no low loss fittings involved. You also have this end where you have a depressor in it. For those that don't know, that depressor just has some ridges on it that helps it hold it in there so you can get a hold of it. Pop it out. Get a hold of your ring. Ooh, this one's brittle. That one just tore right through. If they're coming out in pieces, it's overdue. It's extremely brittle. Still got chunks of it down in there. Wow. This one's really bad shape. It's a good thing we were doing this. Okay, we got the last of it. Really hard, brittle, tears easy, way overdue to be changed. Put some oil on it. This one's real easy to see that the rubber is sitting just above the bronze cup in there. Gonna give us a good seal, but we need to put a depressor back in it. All of these pieces you can buy at any of the part supply houses, Schrader cores, the O-ring gaskets, the depressors. The depressor will also fit into this tool. Mine's getting a little smashed up. Wow, really smashed up. Okay. And then you're just going to seat it down in there. Like so. Easy to do. It's got little barbs on it. They're going to hold it in place. And now I have a completely regasketed hose. Well, I say that, and that one needs to be done too. We'll pop this out. This one's probably going to be brittle, yep, just like the other one. This was not a daily used hose. This is a hose that's been sitting over in the corner of our training center for a while, and obviously needed some attention. Now she's good to go. Take that right out to the field and rely upon the gaskets. Okay, that's all I got for now. Give us a like, maybe subscribe. We're going to do more, I promise, and we're not going to wait all this time to do it. Give me a comment. Tell me if you like JB's low loss fittings or Yellow Jacket's low loss fittings. You know my opinion. And we'll see you on the next one.